All right, good afternoon, guys. So we are doing your one-on-one video of class coming up with Miss Kathy, and I wanted just to show you what we've got going, preparing right now. So we've got our canner going. It's heating up. Again, this is all going to be the hot pack method, so everything will be warm. We're sterilizing our jars, and plus our jars will be warm when we fill them. And then we've got some hot water because we're going to need that for two reasons. One is to fill the jars with the water once we pack them with our vegetables. And then the second reason is going to be, since this is going to be a 3-hour water bath, we're going to need hot water on standby to refill when we need it. So once we get the process started and we get our jars filled, we'll bring you back.
Do you
All
let it
right,
rotate,
guys.
or do you freeze your plate?
Do what?
Do you let your plate rotate, or do you?
Oh yeah, I let it rotate.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So far, this is what we've done. We've layered our vegetables. I typically like the potatoes on the bottom. And then as we're filling these up, we're tapping them down. Now remember, they're going to be a little warm. They're kind of cooled off a little bit right now, but we've tapped them down just to get more room in the jars. And then we'll fill them up a little more, tap them, fill them up a little more. We've already added our salt and our hot water to the jars. So now we're in the process. We're just going to start wiping the rims. And remember to go down into the thread and just one continuous wipe.
Do you want vinegar?
We could, if you wanted the vinegar.
No.
Okay. She was asking if we wanted vinegar. I was just using a towel, a wet towel to wipe it. Vinegar is really, really good if you're, it cuts the grease on the rim. But if you've not used any grease or butter, now the next one we've decided to do is going to be, we have extra potatoes left over. So we have decided that we are going to go ahead and combine some dry canning. So we're going to do dry canning potatoes, and because we're going to be adding butter to those, we would use vinegar to wipe the rim. So when we get to that point, I'll bring you back then too. So we're going to wipe. I've already debubbled as well. And today we use kosher salt. In class, we're going to have an example of the salts that you can and cannot use in canning and why that might be. Typically, the only salt you really shouldn't use in canning would be your table salt. So we'll learn more about that in class. Okay, so we are going to rim them, seal them, and get them in the canner. Okay, so we have our potatoes. We're going to dry can some potatoes. So all we did was fill our jars with just potatoes. We put some butter on top, and that's all we're going, and some kosher salt, and that's all we're going to do. We're going to wipe the rims with some vinegar since we have some butter that we put on top, just to make sure we didn't get anything on the rims. And then we will water bath these for the 3 hours, just like you normally would. So I wanted to show you that there's no water. It's just potatoes, butter, and salt. Okay, 3 hours. And then I think I forgot to say in the last video, we did debubble. So we'll bring you back. Okay guys, so the dry potatoes are in here, and with it not having any water in it, when you put it into your water bath canner, it will float. It's not going to sit on the bottom. So what you do is you just take a plate and you set it right on top, and that holds the jars down into the water and they won't float. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're going to be over.
Is it going to be over?
Yeah. You want to take a time out?
Yeah. Okay, guys, well, the 3 hours is now up. And so they're ready to come out of the canner. We've turned them off and let them sit for about 5 minutes. Or let them sit for 5 minutes. So now, look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's our dry potatoes with just some salt and butter.
And this one already popped.
And see, I don't know if you guys can hear them, but it sounds like little popcorn. It's a wonderful sound when you're a canner. And then we did end up not having enough to fill our canners with, so we ended up putting our empty jars with water in there as well.
We won't ask them to pop.
No, we don't want them to pop. Look how beautiful. Wow. Okay, well, that is the veggie mix. I think that's all we have. I'll take one more shot of the
Produce.
So there's our veggies. And there's our oven dry canned potatoes. And those will be really good in the summer and on the grill. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a good evening, and we will see you soon.